Good morning, Cullman, and thank you for joining us on Cullman Today. I'm your host, Lauren Estes, and today is Monday, December 23rd. Coming up on Cullman Today, the city of Cullman responds to a lawsuit over a service dog being denied access to the Christkindlmarkt Ferris wheel. Alabama's unemployment rate rises to 3.1%, but Cullman County remains strong. And the Cullman County Animal Shelter reminds us about the responsible pet adoption during the holidays. All this plus sports, weather, and more. But for now, let's dive into the top stories happening in Cullman today. The city of Cullman is addressing a lawsuit filed by a veteran who claims his service dog was denied access to the Ferris wheel at the Cullman Christkindlmarkt. On December 18th, Birmingham resident and U.S. Army veteran Kenneth Browning filed the suit against the city of Cullman and Kissel Entertainment, doing business as RideWorks. Browning, who suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder, alleges that on November 29th, his service dog was not allowed on the ADA accessible Ferris wheel at the Christkindlmarkt. According to the lawsuit, Browning purchased tickets for the ride and was told by the ticket salesperson that his service dog could accompany him in the accessible gondola. However, when attempting to board, the ride attendant informed him that his dog could not ride. Despite explanations from Browning and bystanders that the dog was a service animal, the attendant allegedly refused and directed Browning to seek a refund. City Attorney Luke Satterfield released a statement on December 21st saying the city was notified of the claim and has turned it over to our insurance. We cannot comment on the legalities of the suit. I can say that RideWorks is completely separate from the city, operating as an independent contractor, using its employees, infrastructure, and regulations. This was not a structural ADA issue under the control of the city. The city made sure to have in place the appropriate insurance requirements from RideWorks and the necessary legal language in place prior to contracting for their service for the event. We do not take ADA issues lightly, and we have spent time, money, and resources in formulating a citywide transition plan to address all ADA infrastructure issues under the control of the city, and we monitor that and keep a spreadsheet with all completed and outstanding issues as we chip away through the process. The lawsuit claims that the denial of his service animal violated the Americans with Disabilities Act. It states that the incident triggered a panic attack for Browning, leading to additional medical treatment and adjustments to his medication. Browning alleges he was unlawfully discriminated against on the basis of disability due to the defendant's lack of appropriate policies and procedures for service dogs. The city's contract with RideWorks specifies that the company assumes full liability for the operation and safety of the Ferris wheel and its employees. The lawsuit seeks remedy for the alleged ADA violations, stating that Browning has suffered humiliation, embarrassment, frustration, mental anguish, and emotional distress. Both the plaintiff and his attorney were contacted via email, and we're hopeful to hear back from them later. The case has been filed in the U.S. District Court, Northern District of Alabama, Northeastern Division. Moving on to our next story, Alabama's unemployment rate has inched up to 3.1% in November, rising from the 2.9% in October. That's according to the latest report from the Alabama Department of Labor. Despite the statewide increase, Cullman County's unemployment rate remains at the low 2.8%. The state's current rate is also higher than last November's rate of 2.8%. The number of unemployed Alabamians now stands at over 73,000 compared to about 69,000 in October and around 64,000 in November of 2023. On a positive note, more people are joining the workforce. Over the past year, the number of employed individuals grew by more than 17,000, reaching nearly 2.28 million. The civilian labor force, which includes both the employed and those actively seeking work, hit a new record high of over 2.35 million, with an increase of over 26,000 people since last year. Wage and salary employment also reached a new record, climbing by 37,300 over the year to more than 2.23 million jobs. Significant job gains were seen in sectors like private education and health services, leisure and hospitality, and government. Wages are also on the rise. Average weekly earnings in the private sector increased by over $42 from last year, reaching a new high of $1,065.50. Looking at unemployment rates from across the state, Shelby County boasts the lowest rate at 2.6%, and on the higher end, Wilcox County has the state's highest unemployment rate at 9.3%. And finally, in our top stories this morning, the holiday season is a popular time for families to welcome a new pet into their homes. While a cuddly puppy or kitten underneath the Christmas tree can bring joy and excitement, the Cullman County Animal Shelter is reminding residents to consider long-term responsibility that comes with pet ownership. Andrea Hudson, manager of the Cullman County Animal Shelter, emphasizes the importance of thoughtful adoptions. She says, make sure you understand that this is a lifetime commitment. These are living and breathing animals that have feelings, and make sure you are in for the commitment after the holidays. Before you can get an animal, make sure you have the means to provide for that animal. And if it's not something that you can return, it truly is a commitment. With colder weather arriving, Hudson also urges pet owners to keep their animals safe and warm. Although some animals may have a warm coat, if it's too cold for you, then it's most likely too cold for your pet. For those considering adding a furry friend to their family, the Cullman County Animal Shelter welcomes visitors. Hudson says we are open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. We always encourage visitors. We love people to make sure it's a perfect fit. We have areas where people can meet and try different animals to make sure they're a good fit. We do count on our community to come out and adopt. You can visit the shelter at 935 Covenant Road Northeast in Cullman, or you can call them at 256-734-5448 or email at cullmananimalshelter@co.cullman.al.us. For more information about available pets, please visit their Facebook page at facebook.com/Cullman County Animal Shelter. And that's all for our top stories this morning. Coming up next, we'll recap an exciting local high school basketball showdown between Vinemont and Holly Pond. Sports is up next.
Step into Cullman, where local heroes and community spirit shine. Introducing Community Matters Magazine from the Cullman Tribune, your guide to inspiring tales and community spirit. Celebrate our local champions and dive into the festivities at Christkindlmarkt. Feel the season's cheer and discover stories that inspire. Community Matters Magazine. Connect with your community. Find your free issue at these locations or download a copy online.
Welcome back. In today's sports segment, let's dive into Friday night's thrilling top 10 matchup between the Vinemont Lady Eagles and the Holly Pond Lady Broncos. The 9th-ranked Lady Eagles hosted the 7th-ranked Holly Pond Lady Broncos, and Vinemont started out the game red hot on both ends of the court. Reagan Robinson scored a pair of baskets in the paint, and Caroline Miller scored through a foul and added the free throw to give the Lady Eagles an early 7-0 lead. Vinemont's lead grew quickly as three-pointers from Morgan Flanagan and Miller stretched the lead to 13-0. Holly Pond got on the scoreboard on a Blakely Baggett basket with 2:56 remaining in the opening period, but on the other end, Veda Yarborough and Miller each drained a three to make it a 23-3 game. Ava Thomas scored in the paint, and driving layups by Millie McBee and Sadie Nell trimmed the lead to 23-11. In the second quarter, Flanagan stopped the Broncos scoring run with a three from the right corner, and Carly Stevens added a basket in the paint to build Vinemont's lead up 28-11. McBee drained a pair of free throws, and Madison Butts knocked down a three to cut the deficit to 12, but Flanagan and Brooklyn Yarborough each added a late basket for Vinemont to give the Lady Eagles a 32-16 lead at the halftime break. Robinson scored through the foul and tackled the free throw to make it a 35-16 early in the third, and her next basket made it 37-19 later in the period. McBee buried a three on the other end to cut the lead 37-23, and later added a pair of baskets inside to make it a 44-27 game. Flanagan nailed a three just before the end of the third to increase Vinemont's lead to 48-28 going into the fourth. Holly Pond was able to put together another run to get back in the game, trimming the lead down to 9 at one point, but the early lead was just too much to overcome, and Vinemont held on to claim the win 56-46. Robinson led the way for Vinemont with 21 points, while Miller and Flanagan each added 13 points. McBee led Holly Pond with 19 points in the loss. Butts also posted 9 points. Maggie Nell added 7, and Thomas scored 6. And that wraps up sports for today. After the break, we'll bring you 4 stories in just under 4 minutes, including a local veteran honored with a Court of Valor in the Elks Lodge spreading holiday cheer to veterans and families, and a special visit from Margaret Jean Jones Center. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to Cullman Today. Now it's time to speed things up with a news rundown with 4 stories in just under 4 minutes. Army veteran Sergeant Candace Rippond was honored with a Quilt of Valor on December 8th during the Dripping Springs chapter meeting of the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution, or NSDAR. The ceremony recognized her dedicated military service, including a deployment to Afghanistan from October 2013 to June 2014. The sergeant served in the Army from April 2010 until her medical discharge in November of 2017. During her service, she held critical roles in personnel accountability, military intelligence operations, and electronic warfare training. She also served as a non-commissioned officer in the charge of communication security. She proudly notes that her family has members who have served in every U.S. war. The quilt was crafted by members of the Dripping Springs chapter as part of the DAR Day of Service in October and was officially registered with the Quilts of Valor Foundation. The foundation was started by Catherine Roberts in 2003, a Blue Star mother who envisioned quilts bringing healing to veterans touched by war. For more information about the Dripping Springs chapter and their efforts, please contact Athelia Gibbs at 256-502-2040 or email awgibbs65@gmail.com. The chapter meets on the first Sunday of each month at First United Methodist Church in Cullman. Moving on, the Cullman Elks Lodge recently hosted its 2nd annual Beauty and the Beast contest, raising more than $5,000 to provide Christmas gifts and holiday cheer for local veterans and their families. This year's fundraising efforts allowed the Cullman Elks Lodge to sponsor every veteran residing in Cullman County nursing homes, along with 18 homebound veterans, ensuring no one is forgotten this Christmas. In total, 68 senior veterans will receive personalized Christmas gifts. Volunteers from the Elks Lodge will personally deliver these gifts, spending time with each veteran to share moments of joy and connection. Project coordinator Jessica Ashley said, "Our senior veterans deserve to feel seen, valued, and appreciated, especially during the holidays. Delivering gifts and spending time with them allows us to give back in a personal and meaningful way." The Elks Lodge generously didn't stop there. In partnership with Toys for Tots, the Lodge also provided Christmas gifts for 5 veteran families, including 27 children. Each child received a thoughtful collection of presents, and special gifts were included for their parents. This year, the initiative supported individuals ranging in age from newborn to 99 years old. Jessica shared, "This year we were able to touch the lives of 102 individuals, and every single one of them matters." The Lodge expressed gratitude to the community, noting that the overwhelming success of Beauty and the Beast contest was made possible by generous supporters who believes in the power of giving back. Moving on, special visitors from the Margaret Jean Jones Center delivered a festive Christmas basket to the United Way of Cullman County on Thursday, December 19th. The thoughtful gesture brought joy and warmth to the United Way team. United Way of Cullman County Marketing Assistant Morgan Dingler shared, "We were thrilled to see the Margaret Jean Jones Center visitors on Thursday. Their Christmas cheer brightened our day and we're so grateful for their thoughtful gifts. They brought everything we needed to make some delicious hot chocolate mix, marshmallows, chocolate spoons, and even some candies. We can't wait to enjoy these festive treats." The Margaret Jean Jones Center is a nonprofit organization that serves the developmentally disabled population in Cullman County. They offer day services, residential programs, early intervention services for babies from birth to 3 years of age, a DHR certified daycare for children 6 weeks to 5 years old, a summer program for school-age children with disabilities, and a work center. For more information about the Margaret Jean Jones Center and its programs, please visit www.ccc.org. dd.com. And finally, Kurt's Closet, a nonprofit organization in Cullman, spread holiday cheer by providing Christmas gifts to approximately 550 children and their families on December 17th. The heartwarming initiative known as Kurt's Christmas was made possible through the incredible support of the local community. In a message of gratitude, Kurt's Closet extended special thanks to James R. Smith Trucking for transporting the gifts, the Cullman Lions Club for allowing the use of the fairgrounds, First Federal Mortgage for providing lunch for its volunteers, and the Cullman High School baseball team for helping unload. They also recognized the many volunteers and sponsors who took the time to shop and donate gifts for the children. Kurt's Closet is located at 1001 3rd Avenue Southeast in Cullman, and they believe every child deserves to know that they are worthy, accepted, and loved. The organization provides children ages 19 and younger with free clothing, shoes, and other basic needs. They also assist individuals and families facing emergency situations. If your child is in need of the services of Kurt's Closet, you can schedule an appointment by calling their office at 256-735-4557 or visiting their Facebook page. And that's your 4 stories in under 4 minutes. Now for a quick break before we look at the weather ahead and pay our respects with obituaries. I will be right back after this quick message. Welcome back. Let's take a moment to pause and remember those who have lost their lives this week as we turn to obituaries. Randall Matt Smith, 68 of Cullman, passed away Friday, December 20th. The funeral service for Mr. Smith will be today at 11 a.m. at Cullman Funeral Home Chapel with interment at Pilgrim's Rest Baptist Church Cemetery. Bethany Norris Bishop of Huntsville passed away on Saturday, December 21st. A celebration of life will be held Saturday, December 28th at noon at Cullman Heritage Funeral Home. Visitation will be from 10 a.m. to noon at Cullman Heritage Funeral Home. And that finishes up our obituaries for today. Our thoughts and prayers go out to their friends and their families. Now let's take a look at today's weather forecast. Today we'll have sunny skies with highs around 53. Tonight expect mostly clear conditions with temperatures dipping to around 32. Tomorrow brings more sunshine with a high near 58, and tomorrow night it'll be partly cloudy with a low around 38. Keep an eye out for some patchy fog between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. And that wraps up today's edition of Cullman Today. We appreciate you sharing your morning with us. And remember to stay connected by following us on social media and visiting CullmanTribune.com for the latest from our community. We'll be back bright and early Tuesday morning at 6:30 a.m. But until then, I'm Lauren Estes with Cullman Today, wishing you a great Monday, Cullman.